Washington, D.C. He certainly had some very strong opinions on this, and we thought we'd let people just hear this in case they missed it yesterday on a day where there was immense news flow. So we were talking to him about everything from the president's proposal to put a clip on the risk that banks take. But let's listen into that sound first. Other than that, from a guy who has a big stake in a lot of financial names.
Yeah, no, and
to see you, Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you very much.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks.
Well,
thanks, you guys, too.
Just a second ago, we were down triple digits. So we touched that level during the president's speech. We're back 350 points over the last 3 days alone.
Let's try to give you some common sense advice to help calm everybody's nerves joining us. The market has been flirting with triple digits to the downside. It's just below that right now at 97. Let's go to Nicole Petalides on the floor of the NYSE for Goldman Sachs that now have a lot of gold that they have bought in a lot of those carry trades. So questions, if it keeps going down, will this be another bubble that they're stuck with? With the markets in the red, where can you put your money to make some green?
Here with their picks are Kim Coy. She is senior equity analyst with Fort Pitt Capital, and 2 days of markets here. And as we look and see where the opportunities are, because we don't need to get into why the market's selling off. Who cares? It's day to day. But Kim, really a place to be? Well, David Neeleman was ahead of that game. In fact, it was more than a year and a half ago that hundreds of thousands of Haitians fleeing the country's capital in the hopes of escaping the damage that's been caused by the devastating earthquake.
Fox News' Orlando Salinas at 5 right now.
That's a potential reflection on the worries in the markets looking ahead, what with the concerns that we would see more regulation on the banks and what that might mean for risks and profits down the line, frankly.
Indeed.
Mortgage rates, let's talk about that, dropping for a third straight week. Now, nationally, the 30-year fixed rate average coming in.
Frank is calling now for the abolishment of Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. If this happened today, what would it mean for mortgage rates in the entire industry?
In Washington with his take, Bill Burnett, president of mortgage brokers. Whoa, let's just take that right at face value. What would it mean if people listened and went with what Representative Barney Frank has to say, because so much taxpayer money is involved in that, if once we got it cleared through. Thank you.
On the front lines of health care, what could health care reform really mean to the doctors and nurses in an emergency room?
We will take you live to a level 1 trauma facility to see what's really at stake. That's next on Fox Business, the only business network in true HD. Lows of the sessions right now. I'm Liz Claman. It's the last hour of trading. Countdown to the closing bell beginning right now. Let me get you right up to speed. Friday around the 1920 level. Now it's at 25, so that's a significant enough jump here. Punching bags. Yesterday, it was the big banks suffering the worst on President Obama's promise to clamp down on business at the nation's largest banks. But today, it's the consumer finance stocks. They are falling on jitters over growth in their credit card operations. So let's take a look at the biggest losers in the bags, the whipping boys and girls. Bright spot, though, because we always find one, don't we? We have the golden arches shining through all the ugliness today. McDonald's hitting a 52-week high after serving up more than $1 billion in profits in the fourth quarter. The company beating estimates by a penny. I'm so all about their ice coffee. $63 stock. We have breaking news right now. Peter Barnes in Washington on a tough day on Wall Street. Nicole Petalides is at the New York Stock Exchange looking at some particularly big drags on the Dow. Nicole.
We've had the same 5 names in the up category on the Dow Jones Industrial Average.
The Metra shares of the U.S. life insurer among the top percentage gainers as it debuts on the New York Stock Exchange, so up 6 3/4% here. Metra opened 6% above its initial public offering price of $12. See, here's something exciting for the markets today, an IPO that's actually done well. Well, among Metra's investors, Berkshire Hathaway of Warren Buffett fame, also participating in Metra's first IPO filing back in 2007. Metra later pulled that deal in October of 2008, citing the market downturn. Right now, it's doing very nicely today. Time for the floor show. We have traders at the New York Stock Exchange, CME Group, and the Intercontinental Exchange. Bobby Heller, a tough day here. All the equities are at least the major indices looking weaker. But give me a sense of leadership and, to the downside, more importantly, what's really faltering?
Well, you're right, Liz.
They all kind of look a little tired. A little beaten up there. Closing bell ringing in just about, 39 minutes. I'm tired, too. Send me. We're down about 180 points. My next guest is kind of a knack for helping airlines, new ones, to soar to new heights. After founding JetBlue Airways a decade ago, he looked to Latin America to start his second and his next discount carrier, Azul Airlines. Business booming. Azul is forecasting a profit this year already.
Yes, in Brazil. Come see us.
Yeah, we went from down 178 points to down 221 points. So I'm just trying to give you that information as we watch what happens in these last 13 minutes. A pop in prices, rentals, and popularity of this region.
There is no question about it that there is going to be a bump this summer during the show.
But can you make a direct correlation to that? Because some people would say it's a train wreck. And yes, I would look at a train wreck, but I wouldn't want to be a part of that train wreck.
But you drive past the train wreck and you slow down and everything else stops and you look at the...
That places like the Hamptons and Malibu are completely out of people's hands because it's gotten so unbelievably expensive. And they look at this. And by the way, I should say something nice about the Jersey Shore. It's absolutely beautiful,
it's
like
terrific.
Long Beach Island. And it's very family friendly. But then you look at these fake bake gorilla juice. Gorilla juice. Somebody enlighten me about gorilla juice. What is that? But I don't want to be a part of these guys.
We can try some after the show if you want when you're off air.
I can't imagine. It's amazing to me that this show would inspire real estate sales. I'd like to tell you guys that Jason actually deals in multi-million-dollar townhouses in Manhattan, and he
Scotland, but
from the Lockerbie bombing.
They didn't take me up on it.
They didn't like that,
no,
did they? Well,
no,
good for
so
you.
much.
Good for you, Jason. We're 5 minutes from the close, and now we're down about 203 points. Let's count down our 7 late movers with Sandra Smith.
Hey, Liz, well, it's
Ugly trading day coming to an end, and it was an even uglier week as it turns out, but the business day always continues right here on Bulls and Bears.
Yeah, the market on Wall Street, we're going to see how the big events of the past few days could affect all of us for years to come.
And the week is ending pretty tough. A week for your money, a stunning election in Massachusetts, changing the dynamic in Washington, the president coming down hard on the banks, and Wall Street getting a bad case of the jitters.
So what does all this mean for our financial future? We've got an all-star panel to help us out. Dr. Bob Froelich, Liz McDonald, the Bulls and Bears.
Obama in Ohio at this hour making yet another trip there to talk about getting people back to work.
In earlier remarks there, he still managed to take a couple of swipes at the banks. Rich Edson joining us now.
You're doing great work with VetJobs.com. Thank you.
Absolutely. Ted Daywalt. Well, in addition to jobs, the White House is increasing its push for tougher financial regs.
But former Republican Congressman Vito Fossati.
But don't mislead or put forward to the American people, this is going to solve all the financial problems. If you want to impose some oversight and some more burden, let's look at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Let's look at look at the Fed for keeping interest rates so long, too low for so long. Other players were at stake here.
Vito Fossati, thank you for joining us.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Here's a look at what's still ahead today on Bulls and Bears. President Obama targeting banks since the Massachusetts election put his healthcare overhaul plan in danger.
But Evan Newmark of the Wall Street.
But you know, it almost seems like there are certain things that are so touchy with the American public, whether it's healthcare or, let's say, for example, Social Security. President Bush wanted to overhaul Social Security, never got traction. He had John Snow, the Treasury Secretary, pounding the pavement, traveling thousands of miles across the U.S. to try and push it. It never got traction. There's some things people don't want to see change.
That is absolutely true, and I'm not a politician, because they thought about it in terms like they knew what the results should be.
All right. Now, you mentioned a cabinet before the 22 people. None
most effectively. That is not the way a politician looks at the world. A politician looks, how do I get from point A to point B with keeping the people who supported me behind me so I can get reelected?
Actually, it's different. The politician is, how do I screw the other guy so that I get reelected? I think that plays into it, too.
Evan Newmark of the Wall Street Journal.
Thanks, Evan.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Very interesting. Well, Martha Coakley lost, of course, on Tuesday night.
He is not reconfirmed as Federal Reserve Chairman. How will Wall Street and the markets react?
It's a good question. Let's
Money today.
clean up the mess.
Who made money today? The former lover of Oracle President Charles. Also making money, Quincy Jones and Lionel Richie. You know these guys' names, right? Billboard today. And this one is so big, we could only do one loser today, and it's General Electric. After Conan O'Brien shows he may not be able to say anything nasty about NBC, but he can still make the network cry by doing bits for no other reason than to cost the network huge money. Watch this.
He can, but terrific. Are you going to watch tonight?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Right?
I don't know
How could you
anybody
not?
who's not.
How could you not?
All right, well, the surprise outcome of the Massachusetts election is...
On the heels of a surprising Massachusetts election, some Democrats facing tough re-election fights are asking President Obama to extend the Bush tax cuts.
They fear that increasing taxes for top earners could lead to a double-dip recession. And
we round out our show today with what you need to know, Matt.
Well, if the
Quentin, guys, thanks very much from Bulls and Bears to the Bull and Bear Bar in Manhattan.
Happy hour.